I'm making this video for Windows 12 for Dummies by Graham Moore. As you see in the table of contents, in chapter 1 it describes how to get the best of Windows 10. So we will activate without code, we'll make 80,000 free programs, no need for virus, a free Office suite, a Photoshop Gimp tutorial, deleting and reinstalling Windows 10, recovering from a virus attack, making a bootable USB stick, making a version better than Windows 11, making a superb Windows 12, making a superb desktop with infinite variations. If you want to write a book, then follow me and publish it on londonpublishing.net. If you are looking for authors, they will publish your book for as little as £10 a copy, with coloured pages if you wish. You can design your cover if you would like, or they make one for you to approve. This was my last cover for Kingsman. Kingsman is available at Foils and Waterstones. So if you obtain the book, please give it a review. I will be adding my book Windows 12 for Dummies soon there as well. You can see on the back page there is an ISBN number. You have to add an ISBN number to your book. It usually costs £90 and should be a UK ISBN number. One scam site offers it for £90 and the ISBN number is from Pakistan, so it will not be accepted for UK publications. Amazon ISBN numbers will not be accepted either, so we cannot be accepted in Waterstones or Foils with those. And the first and most important thing to do is to improve Windows is to have a secure browser. So using the browser that is shipped with Windows, download the Firefox browser. In the Edge browser, type download Firefox. The Edge browser will object, saying it is actually faster with Edge, but this is simply not true. Then when the Firefox browser is installed, proceed to download Thunderbird, a better and safer mail agent. Next, download Gimp, a better Photoshop, and then download WPS Office. All are free and you're ready to go. When you have something, you will need to flatten the image. Flatten, you go to Image and click on Flatten Image to fix it. You can also go back with Ctrl Z if you want to change this. You can make a copy into a picture folder of each image. Use Ctrl Shift E, select a folder and the name, and then click Enter twice to export it. You can export in any different format. Its default is .png, but you change this to JPEG or .pdf. You do not use Save with Gimp as it saves in a different format. YouTube has many Gimp tutorials. This is a good one. Copy this pointer if you want to use this. or you can look at my Gimp tutorials by looking at YouTube John Dolker. I made my Kingsman covered with Gimp by adding a waterfall, the King's regimental crest, capybara, tarantula, caiman, anaconda, piranha, bush cow and macaws on the front page. The back page with text pictures and the necessary ISBN number. You can add a price for yours if you wish. This is the hardback edition, which has a different ISBN than the softback version. You can see the Kingsman on foils.co.uk and waterstones.com. You can buy it on londonpublishing.net at half price with a checkout code library101. So if you want to go to your library, tell them about this wonderful book and have it available for their readers. You will see I've added a blank page before the table of contents. This is for libraries to put their checkout page on. So don't forget that if you're making a book, and on the last page put a request for reviews on WPS Smith, Boys and Waterstones. If you have a DVD read writer on your machine, then you can make up bootable DVDs. Skip this chapter if you do not have one. In Windows you can download ImageBurn. This will allow you to make DVDs. It is a good idea to use printable blank DVDs. You can get these from squarespace.com. If you have a printer such as Epson XP640, you can print on the disc. If you do not want to print on them, then you can obtain DVDs from Poundland. You can install more than one operating system on your machine if you wish to make a dual boot or a triple boot system. When you first switch on with a dual boot, you will see a display like this. So Linux Mint, Advanced Options, Windows Boot Manager. If you do not move down within 5 seconds, it will boot in the first operating system, in this case the Superb Mint 21.1 Vera with a Cinnamon desktop that even an infant can use. If you want to boot Windows, select the Windows Boot Manager and then click Enter. Download from TechSpot the Yummy 2.0, 9.4 or later versions. Do not get the external version offered by some others, as this causes considerable problems and doesn't allow you to use SuperGov 2 for some obscure reason. Then open Yummy when you install it on your Windows and run Yummy with a USB in the USB port. You'll find the Yummy exit.x and run as administrator before making the stick. You will not need to download the browser the following. The latest version of Windows 10 from Microsoft, G-Parted, the AMD version only, Linux Mint, Vera, SuperGov 2. All these versions must be ISO version, otherwise they will not let boot. So start with Google and download Windows 10, then click Download Windows 10 disk image file. First you'll have to download the media tool, run it and ensure you set it to download the .iso file, but not directly to the USB. You only need it saved as an ISO file in the Documents directory. This should install in the Documents directory by default. It is a large file, 4.7 gigabytes, so it will take some time to download. It will then say creating Windows 10 media. then you should see the Windows disk image file in the Documents directory. When finished, use Google again and download gparted. Choose the AMD version. This is used to partition your hard drive. When it's finished, use Google again, download Supergrub 2, select the source board version here. You can copy this into your browser to download it. When finished, use Google again, download it with a Cinnamon desktop. You will see a tutorial on their website. It's really worth a read. We'll show you in Chapter 6 why gparted is extremely useful, especially if Windows collects a virus. Gparted will allow you to delete your Windows version if it has a virus, or reduce the size of a partition, or make another partition on your hard drive. Linux Mint is a must if you want to have 80,000 free programs and an excellent Cinnamon desktop, which you can infinitely customize to suit yourself. It will install automatically any printers it finds on Wi-Fi or hardwired by an Ethernet cable or the standard printer cable. The Cinnamon desktop is best you can find, with many features that you have dreamed of. We'll customize it later when you install Linux Mint. You can see a YouTube on customizing the Cinnamon desktop as it is infinitely feature rich. Even a 4-year-old will take to it. It really shows Windows desktop as very dated. Let's see a YouTube on customizing the Cinnamon desktop as it's infinitely rich. If you delete Windows 10, you must first copy all your files onto Linux Mint to save them. If you have used the Windows backup history, this will help as well. Here we show you how to back up and reinstall your Windows file. Using Mint, you will see a folder on the desktop where you can see all your files to copy into the folder you make on the Mint desktop. Public or music folders are usually available. All our folders will run on Mint in any event, and Windows programs also run on Mint, and Mint does have its own Windows programs. All your files will run on Mint in any event, and Windows programs are available with Windows Play on Linux. You can also run Windows programs on Mint in any event. Activating Windows without a key. If you have a USB from Squarespace, it will have a folder with this procedure. You need to first switch Defender off to run this. This is how you turn Defender off. Select Start and type Windows Security search for the app. Select the Windows Security app from the search results. Go to Virus Threat Protection. Under Virus and Threat Protection, select the Manage Settings. Switch Real-Time Protection to off. When you restart Windows, it will put it back again. So always be aware, if you've got a USB in with the Activate program, it likes to delete it. Now, if you have a USB, just go to Activate folder and follow the instructions. While connected to the internet, will activate your folder. So you run an administrator activate that by the right click on the activate that. This is the activated screen you will see. If you're dual booting with Linux Mint, you can make this first on a USB. Make a text file called activate bat. This is shown in chapter 11 if you want to make it for yourself. To activate Windows without a key, you run activate bat. That was connected to the internet. You run as administrator activate bat right clicking on activate back and run as administrator. We can make our book cover using Gimp. You will see how easy it is to use. Just Google YouTube videos by John Dolk. You will see a Gimp tutorial there. You can read this to show how if you want to do it quicker. You will need an ISBN number to put on the back page, which you can buy from squarespace.com. It comes like this usually. Now, because it needs a modification, you can click on it and run Gimp. Ensure the background colour is white. This is the two colours on the left of the screen. If you haven't got white, click on one on the background and select white from the menu. Then go to File and New and change the height to 600. Go to the image, then copy with Ctrl V, and then on the new white image paste with Ctrl V and move the image down to the bottom. Then click image, then click flatten image. Now with the rectangle, select copy the laser bars and then paste over the image, moving it up to extend the bars. Then go to the image and flatten the image. It should now look like this. Now make the foreground colour black and click on the A for text. Put the text box over the top of the laser bars, then write in the text box the ISBN number. On the right you can change the size to suit the text size. Then image, flatten image, then with a rectangle select a square image, then Ctrl X, then Shift Ctrl V to make final like this. When you have the file version, export it with Ctrl Shift E pressed together and put it in a folder, for example pictures or documents. We can now make a back cover image. You can now make a background colour first. I have selected light blue. Then go to File, then New and make select inches, then height with 10 and width 8. Select a white foreground and then with a rectangle select enter a small rectangle on the bottom right of the page. Select the brush and fill it with white. Select black as a foreground, then with the A text enter the text box and write in the box UK £9.99. Now flatten the image with the image flatten. Then select your ISBN image, then image size, reduce it to 400 pixels, then copy it to the bottom right of the page, to the left of the price. Now flatten the image with image flatten image. Select your ISBN image, then image size, reduce it to 400 pixels, then copy it to the bottom right of the page, to the left of the price. Now flatten the image with image flatten image. You can save it with Shift Ctrl E pressed together, then select where you file your pictures, then call it back cover, then export it with 2 enter clicks. It should look like this now. Export it, with Shift Control E, select where your file your pictures and call it back cover. Export it with 2 enter clicks. It should look like this now. Now start the same way for the front cover with your chosen colour. Then go to File, New, select inches, then height of 10 and width 8 inches. Now I've chosen a Microsoft image by googling and copying, then adding a title and author. This is what it looks like now. Now we should make a spine to connect the front and back cover. Start with the same background colour and the height of the book. 10 inches, the width of 0.3 inches according to the number of pages. So I put this at 150 pages. Now we file New with a width of 10 inches and a height of 0.3 inches. We write the title and author down the spine with the A text editor, and we do it in white because we got a blue background there. Now we have to save it, flatten the image before anything extra. When we have the horizontal bar to our liking, we image, flatten image and make this vertical. So we go to Layer, Transform, Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. It appears to disappear, but clicking on the middle and copy, and I then add it to the front cover and back cover. So this will mean we make a 16.3 wide and 10 inch high cover by using File New. Then copy the spine onto it, which automatically centers it. So flatten and add the front cover and the back cover. So we'll end up with this. We copy the spine after rotating it 90 degrees, and it centers automatically on a 16.3 by 10 inch high cover we made with File New. They copy the spine onto it, it automatically centers it, so flatten the image and add the front cover and back cover, so it will end up like this. I hope you liked this short tutorial. You should have ended up with a picture like this, but you can make your own for your own buck. We're going to make a bootable USB. If you have no operating system on your machine, it will ask for a bootable device. Here we make one. This allows you to install Windows 10, Gparted, Super Grub 2 and the latest Linux Mint 21.1 Vera, or any other operating system you desire. If you get this you can get this on squarespace.com if you wish, either as a USB or a USB card reader with the Yummy on, or just the 32GB card with the bootable Yummy, and the latest version of this book on. This also has an activation folder to activate Windows 10 and Office 2019 without a key. You can make a bootable USB by downloading the Yummy Linux program. In your browser, type download Yummy Linux from TextSpot, download Yummy 2.09.4 or later. Then move down the page, click download Yummy. You should have downloaded the ISO files previously mentioned to make your Yummy stick. The latest version of Windows 10 from Microsoft, Gparted NAMD version only, Linux Mint 21.1 and Super Grub 2. Then you will need a USB flash, of 32 bytes or more, or a USB card reader with 32 gigabyte card. All are available from squaresbay.com. After downloading Yummy to your Windows, then open and install. Put the USB in your machine. Now I have to run Yummy as an administrator. Yummy, you must accept the license terms, then select USB you will use. If you are using a new USB, it will have a message that is not prepared for this version of Yummy. Click the format it. It will format before installing the first Windows. Installing Windows, you click on the step 2, select the distribution. There is a drop down menu and you go to multiple Windows Vista 7, 8, 10 installers, boot MGR. So you click on that, and then you have to search for it in step 3. Browse for the Windows. You will find it in Documents folder. Open, and then on the bottom of the Yummy, click Create. Wait for it to complete. Takes a while, as there's 42 gigabyte of code. It will ask you if you want to add more distros when it's finished, so click Yes. You then select your USB again, then step 2 in the list under System Tools, select Gpart in the drop down menu. Browse for it and you will find it in Downloads, then click on Open, then click on Create. When finished, click Next. It will ask you if you want to add more distros, so you click Yes. Again, then step 2 in the Linux under System Tools, select Linux Mint. Browse for Linux Mint and you will find it in Downloads. Then click on Open, then click Create. When finished, click on Next. It will ask you if you want to add more distros, so click Yes. Again, then step 2 in the list on the System Tools, select Supergrub. It's nearly down at the bottom of the menu. Browse for Supergrub and you will find it in Downloads. Then click on Open, then click on Create. When finished, click on Next. It will ask you if you want to add more distros, so click No. Then you click on Finish. You have now a Yummy installation stick. It's finished for now. You can, if you wish, add other distros at any time by going back to Yummy and put it in when you've downloaded another operating system that you might like. You can add activation folder with your activate that in the folder, so you can use the stick to activate as many machines with Windows on. This folder is not bootable. You can just click and run it. You can also add Office 2019 as well. That's not bootable. You just go to Setup and install. So you can obtain another activation for Windows and Office from our WhatsApp, or it comes with our Yummy sticks. Installing operating system using the Yummy installation USB. Put your Yummy stick in the machine when it's switched off. Then you should see a flash screen when you switch on, which says whether you want to boot. On better laptops like Lenovo, you do not switch on. You just push a small hidden button the size of an iPhone SIM tray, less than 1 millimeter in diameter, on the left hand side. So if you haven't had and you can't find the installation, it's usually when you switch on you press F2 or F12 or F8, F4. You should see this on the flash screen. If you don't have that, you can try that. F12 sometimes it is good. You can click on F12 and then it will give you a range of systems that you can go to. You look down for your your USB, and you should so then you click on a choice of systems. You can also boot from a DVD installation ROM if you have one. So select the Yummy list is shown as you can select the operating system you wish to install. It will boot the first option within 5 seconds unless another system, and click enter. Let us choose the USB, then choose Linux, then choose Linux Mint. We will assume that for this that you already you have an infected Windows operating system. We will delete it using gparted and install the latest Windows 10 that we have already downloaded and add it to our Yummy stick. Boot from the Yummy stick in the panel. You choose the middle of the 3 options. Systems Tools is gparted. Click to run it. You can boot from the Yummy stick to get gparted. Click to run it. It will take a little time until a pop-up does not touch key map in red appears. Just enter. When asked for a preferred language, just press enter. In the screen that follows, gparted screen will appear, showing all the partitions. Click each partition in turn and the top line and click delete. Keep doing this until unallocated is shown. Click the green tick box to confirm, then when finished click on close, then again on the partition click new. You can then switch off. So you may, if you like, add a NTFS file system, but it's not necessary because unallocated is perfectly accepted for the next operation of installing Windows. But Windows does like the NTFS system. So click on add, then click on the green tick box again and confirm. Now switch off. Now again boot from the Yummy stick, and in the pop-up menu choose Windows. It will now install Windows. Enter to start installing it. In a short while it will show the rotating dots that's familiar of Windows. This starts the installation. When you have the purple Windows screen with language, time and currency, then keyboard choices all UK, then click next. You can change, of course, if you want the currency and the language, but for purposes of this demonstration we confine ourselves to English. Then click on install now. Then in the next pop-up menu click on I do not have a product key, click next. In the next screen choose Windows Pro and click next. A license screen appears, click the tick box, then next. The next screen chooses the custom and enter. So here we see the first blue screen, which you will first click on next. The second is install now, which you click on install now, and on the third screen, after accepting the license term, you say where you want to install Windows. If you've already used gparted, you should find just one unallocated space line. If not, click on each one and click delete until they're all appearing as unallocated. Then it will form into one single unallocated space. Then you can click next. Click on the delete on each partition listed, as I said. Do this until you have a single partition which is unallocated. It then starts installing files. This is the screen you see. When it reaches 100%, it will start, and you will not need the yummy stick anymore for this installation, and you can take it out. It will restart again after a while. It then asks which region. Accept the default United Kingdom. Click yes. It suggested the United Kingdom for keyboard, so click yes. Click skip on the second keyboard unless you have been switching to another keyboard. The next pop-up screens, you then will select the lower options and then accept. Make sure that the password is the one you'll only remember. If you don't want a password, just click enter. Otherwise, if you do enter a password and you forget it, you will need a password recovery disk. In the customize screen, click skip. Finally, you should now have Windows after selecting each time to accept. I always choose the bottom of each options. It produces less intrusive applications, and you don't want to be sending everything to Microsoft. So finally, you should now have Windows 10 screen. You will now need to connect to the network. If you have an Ethernet cable, then connect it to your broadband router. Otherwise, select a Wi-Fi and enter the Wi-Fi password to join. You should find this on the bottom of your router. You could also use your phone by switching on its Wi-Fi personal hotspot. Find this in settings on your phone and click on personal hotspot. Set a password for it, and so you can then go and see your personal hotspot and click on it to get connected to Wi-Fi. You will then see a quarter of a world at the bottom saying that you are all right and your Wi-Fi is connected. Now you will need a better browser than the Microsoft Edge. So first you run Edge, which you will find on the desktop. Select a new tab on the Edge and enter download Firefox. Then click on open and the Firefox installer will appear. Click on yes when Windows asks you want to accept that. When Firefox is installed, it will be on the desktop. So double click on it and a new tab. Each time install this time Thunderbird, the mail client. Install Gimp. This will automatically appear on the desktop and installed. So go to the left on the bottom pane of the star 4 squares icon. Install Gimp the same way. This will not automatically appear on the desktop when it's installed. So go to the left on the bottom pane on the star, the 4 squares icon. Search then for Gimp. Click on it and drag it to the desktop. Your screen should now appear like this. With that has the Edge, Thunderbird. No, not Thunderbird. Yeah, I haven't got it in this one, but you've got Gimp there, and so you can now install WPS Office. This is a powerful Office program. Just like Office 2019. So you in a new tab in Firefox, in the address bar, type download WPS Office. Click on the WPS Office, then click on free download to install it. When installed, it will appear on the desktop. When started, it has a tutorial, then you can use. So click on that and learn about about it. This is the what appears on the story as 6 pages, getting started, and so it's easily shows it's easily on popular file systems. It says welcome to Office. It also has a series of templates or blank documents. This is very useful in many things. Now you see it has documents, presentations, spreadsheets and PDF. So it's not just one program, it's a multiple load of programs. So you can make a document and you can save it as a PDF by clicking on export when you're saving. So it's powerful tools to help automate your work, it says. So it's got tools of PDF to Word, pictures to text, picture to PDF, and file repair. That's interesting. That I didn't know about that file repair. It's well worth having a look at that. So share with anyone, any device, and so that's it. You can add WPS for Android, for Mac, for iOS. So this next chapter will make the desktop look better. Click the Start button, which is on the left of the bottom panel, and choose the settings icon. This looks like a gear. Click the personalization. Click any one of the pictures and it will be placed on the desktop. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have a slideshow, with other operating systems do. You need to set up Thunderbird, your mail app. If you already have mail addresses, just click on Thunderbird and the pop-up screen will ask you your full name, your email address and password. It will then connect to that email. Enter this and click continue. Once it installs, you can add further emails by clicking on an existing email on the left hand side, not the actual email but the description of what the email, including the @ sign, to return to this initial account screen. There you can set up another account. You also can set up a calendar on the account setting. This you will choose, ask you to give it a name. You click on that. You can also file it in the cloud if you wish. Enter any event you want in the calendar. The calendar is displayed alongside your emails. Now, if you have no email address, you're better off getting a new one for free. They're freely and easily available with mail.com. This also allows you to see your email on any browser anywhere in the world, unlike other emails. So go to mail.com and then sign up. Well, no, you can't sign up actually until you've registered a name. You then enter the email address you want in the bar. So it says @mail.com in the right hand column, but don't worry about it, just enter that, whatever email name you want. So it doesn't really matter. You can put your own name, but you're not likely to get it. So it will usually be taken. So but it'll give a choice of free ones. These will list the various ones available. So there's @mail.com or dr.com or writeme.com or cheerful.com. I've never seen anybody use cheerful.com. engineer.com, myself.com, post.com, consultant.com, and there's probably more, but you can keep going and see if there are any more. Tell me if you find it by subscribing and saying, oh, I found another one at mail.com. Maybe I can keep making others up. When you found one, you click on the blue accept button, then just fill in the form below and it will be yours. You then go back to mail.com and enter your mail and the password you've made in the form, and your email will appear, and a welcome email is waiting for you. Now enter this new email in your Thunderbird and you will then see your welcome message again in your inbox. Now most people forget backing up. So backing up is a chore, but you will regret it if you lose important files or information. It is simple to do with file history. You will need to have somewhere to back up your files. The simplest is a memory card in a slot if you have one. If not, you can also use a memory card USB instead. Make sure you use a memory card of more than 32 gigabytes so you can install large files. This may well include large downloads. You can also use an external SSD in a USB carrier which comes in a clear or black case. This plugs into your laptop, and you can frequently add it and back up to the black case, which of course you have to put in a 2.5 inch drive. So you can, if you've got one, use it. If you best reformat it with gpartine, but you can get a 2.5 inch hard drive for about £30 or SSD for about £40 from squarespace.com, and you can put that in your USB carrier. You can find this the black external case for £10 on squarespace.com, and most things are less than £10, like the USBs, etc. You might want or USB card holders as well. Put your method of saving the file history in, and you will have to switch the file history on. By default it is off. So you put your backup drive and settings in the gear wheel, choose where you will be saving your files. You have a choice of cloud or local drive. Of course, in this method we're doing it on a local drive. Click on backup to have this backup screen. Click automatic backup, so it will automatically back up every hour. This is the settings screen. It turns blue when you switch it on. So you can back up the files to OneDrive, or back up using file history. So you click this little button until it's on. After the options is clicked, you will see this options screen. So with you can click on backup now, which you should do because you don't want to wait for an hour. You can back up your files every hour, which is default, or you can change that setting. Of course, keep my backups forever. It's plain sailing, that, isn't it? I don't even know when I put that one in. So your backup for your folders, you can add a folder. It will back up the list that it has there, and OneDrive as well. Now click on backup now. This will start your first backup, and it will back up every hour from then. You can choose what to back up on this option screen. Now Windows has lots of quirks. There's sometimes quirks, and here are a few of the Windows quirks you might want answers to. If you find some more quirks, subscribe to me, and if you've got an action that you solve, then let us know as well. Windows makes me sign in all the time, and it is annoying. So this is easily fixed. You click on the Start button, go to the Settings gear icon, click on Accounts category, and click Sign In Options from the left panel. Click Require Sign In drop down menu and change it to Never. Now sometimes the taskbar goes walkabout. It sometimes disappears or moves to the side of the ceiling. Fixed by dragging the taskbar from the middle and down to where it normally should be on the bottom. Microsoft account. Microsoft loves you to join with a Microsoft account. You don't have to say I don't want one, so just sign up for a local account instead. The Windows version, sometimes you might want to see which version you have. So if you don't know what version of Windows you have, you right click on the Start button, look in the right pane, Windows specification. You should see Windows 10 there. The About screen gives you lots more information, the device specifications, your processor, and you can rename your PC here. This one has Windows 10 Enterprise, but you should see whatever you've made it. You can also copy it so you can make a print of it. Or you can change the product key or upgrade your edition of Windows. Right. The print screen does not work. You make a screen copy as you have done above with the Windows key. That's the little key on your keyboard that's has little 4 squares, just like your Start button. So you click on that, and at the same time this copies it to the keyboard. So you click on the Windows key and the print screen at the same time. Open Gimp and paste it with Ctrl V. You can then edit and export it with Ctrl Shift and E at the same time. So it's useful for tech support, as they often ask you to show what you are seeing, and so they should be able to help you. Now, broken Windows, quite often this happens. You may have odd screens or program freezes or menus keep popping up or incomprehensible errors. You should first restart and save any files that it suggests. This often fixes minor problems. Next, you should do a system restore if you have been using file history. First, need to use the reset tool. Click the Start button and the settings icon, the gear wheel. Click the update and security icon. When it appears, click the recovery option from the left pane. When the recovery option appears, on the left pane, then in Reset this PC section, click Get Started button. Two options are listed. Choose either Keep Files or Remove Everything. Choose one that's best for you and then click Next. You are asked how you would like to reinstall Windows, cloud, download or local reinstall. Choose the latter first to save time. It asks to confirm, then carries out your request. After resetting your computer, reinstall your desktop programs one by one, restarting every time. In this way you might find a troublesome program. If you're using a DVD, be careful on the restart. Don't press any key. Wait until the message disappears. This will restore the refreshed hard drive. Now, after reinstalling Windows with your yummy disk, when you're back to your fresh desktop, so reinstall your desktop programs one by one, restarting every time. In this way you might find the troublesome program. If you're using a DVD to install Windows, be careful on restart. Don't press any key. Wait until the message disappears. This will restore the refreshed hard drive. If you want to wipe your hard drive completely, you can use file history to restore the files. Restoring backups with file history. Use Explorer to find the files that you have backed up with file history. Click the Home tab on the ribbon above your folder, then click the History button. If you do not see the menu file ribbon on the top of the folder, click the up arrow on the folder's up and right corner next to the blue question mark, as this will now reveal the button. You can see File History folder. Choose what you want to restore with point and click. Now click the Restore button. If a conflict arises over naming, it shows 3 ways to resolve the conflict. So replace the file in destination only if you're sure the older file is better than the current one. Skip the file option if you do not want to restore it. The third option lets you compare the file sizes and dates. This will keep both files with a different number, and you can select which one you want to install. You exit File History by closing the window with a little cross in the top right hand bar. If you lose your password, you can obtain a Heron's DVD to restore it. This disk can do many repairs, so see a list on squarespace.com. Otherwise, reinstall your Windows, and this time put the password safely in a time capsule in the garden. Now you will find that File History is automatically by default switched off. So you enter File History with your backup drive connected. You then see it is turned off. Click Turn On. This will start backing up to ensure it has everything. Then when finished, it will back up every hour. If you have a frozen program, you may be unable to reach the close command. You may extricate yourself with a series of commands. Click the Start menu, select the Task Manager from the pop-up menu. This lists the running programs. Click the frozen nav. If you do not see it, click More. If you have a total computer freeze, try the following. Type Escape twice or Control C pressing at the same time. You may also press Control Alternate Delete all together these keys should be all pressed simultaneously. You should see a list like this. It says lock, switch user, sign out, change password, task manager. So click the task manager when it appears. This will have a list of all your programs that are running. So you can click on the one that you suspect and click end task. It should say the name of the unresponsive program, so click on it to remove it with end task. If you have no joy, repeat, press Ctrl or delete with the power button, then choose restart. This should restore everything. Otherwise, the final thing is to hold the power button down, then restart. You may have to hold it down for 4 or 5 seconds. Finally, with a desktop, unplug the power, and the laptop, you can, in some cases, if it has a removable battery, you can unplug the battery. If nothing works, then you'll have to delete your Windows 10 parting with your Yummy stick and Gpart head. You will have to reinstall your Windows again using your Yummy stick. Run Gpart with Yummy stick. Delete everything before installing Windows. I'm sure you're worried about viruses. It's no good paying for antivirus. It's expensive and you have to do it every year, and they generally don't work anyway. So you can install another operating system, and Windows 10, which is basically has hardly any viruses that are found. Now, if you want the antivirus, then the best is installing Linux Mint. It has is the best free antivirus. It's ClamAV. In addition to having a powerful command line antivirus scanner, it's open source. It's got a massive virus directory which continually is updated, and it's completely free, but unfortunately it's on Linux. You now should install Linux Mint Vera to have the world's best operating system. It is open source, so that this means it's protected by thousands of programmers who spend their time to ensure that all the code is visible. Windows 10, on the other hand, it's a cathedral. They call it a cathedral because it has giant walls and you can't see what's inside it. So why have antivirus as Linux never has virus? Well, everyone likes security, especially now if you connect to the internet. Last year, Google said there was hardly any viruses for Linux, but now there's now saying that there have been dozens of Linux-specific viruses, some of which include Archie, Bannon, Blacklist, Bundle, Relax, Right, White. Some zipworm viruses aren't the only threat faced in Linux either. The Linux system can succumb to an infection from other types of malware, including ransomware, Trojans, and worms. This was said on the 27th and the 2022, but don't be paranoid. It's not that bad. So don't worry though. With the open source nature, also protects it from viruses. Like most types of open source software, Linux is a community of developers who are constantly working to optimize and improve. It's not a commercially sold or licensed operating system. Rather, Linux is free and open source with its open source nature. So you can, when you install Linux Mint, it's good always to keep updating, because you get any vulnerabilities being fixed. In Mint there are extra protections as well. The clam AV, you can run clam AV. Every time I run it, it never finds anything. So, but maybe one day you might find something, and clam AV can catch it. Best of all, there is a whole community that contribute to the Linux Mint forum that help you with everything you need to know, and just search your question and you will surely have been answered a long time ago. It's extremely rare that a question has not been answered. So join just Google the Linux Mint forum and join it. If you have to answer ask a question, so you will have to register with them. Now, install with the Yummy stick. I have made a YouTube video to help answer questions, so subscribe to my YouTube video. So you go to you Google YouTube John Dolke, D-O-L-K-E. So you subscribe to my channel and we can help even further, especially about this book. So just Google YouTube to find me. Here we see, just Google videos by John Dolke. You will see Gimp tutorial there as well. But we've done some Gimp's tutorials anyway. I think you should be familiar by now. Now, it's very simple to install Linux Mint. It doesn't take much time, and you don't have to be around all the time answering persistent questions that Microsoft does with its Windows 10, and it's not asking you to join up in any practice, and you don't need an activation key. So you can now install the second system alongside Windows 10. This makes the best possible system by installing Linux Mint. Use the Yummy stick to install Linux Mint. When you boot from the Yummy, you'll see a menu screen. The start screen will give options for installation. Choose the first line and click enter. The OEM option is if you are selling the device, and the OEM config can be used with a new user, so they will put their own password and their names in. So when the screen, black installation screen appears, it is not installed. It allows you to demonstrate. So this is called a live installation. So you can trial, and on the left panel you will see the LM icon. Click on that, it will display all the programs that that are already installed. So then we can set up the various features. So there's a setting which you can set up your desktop icons, wallpaper, your screensaver, your power manager, etc. Well, I was going to say printers, but that's not effective because you don't have to set them up. It automatically does that now. Bear in mind, nothing will be saved unless you install the system. So now let's do this. I'll double click on the icon, install Linux Mint. It will take a little while, do a rotating button until you see the install welcome screen. It will appear to choose your language. We choose English, which is default. Click on continue. Choose the keyboard in the next screen. We choose English UK, which is the default, and click on, oh well, no, default is the US, so they get everywhere, those people. So move it to English UK and click continue. Ignore the Wi-Fi for now in the wireless screen, so click on continue. A multimedia codecs screen will ask to install the codecs. Tick this radio box and click on continue. If it asks to mount this, then click yes. This is very rare occurrence, and I'm not sure why it appears on some machines and others it doesn't. The next screen asks you if you want to install Linux Mint 10. This is the top radio button. The second button allows you to erase and install Mint on the whole hard drive. It's not a good idea unless you're very familiar with Mint. You might want to use your old Windows 10. Only do this if you have offended Windows 10 and you're in a rush to get going. So leave the first button selected and click on install now. Now it will give you a choice to select where you are in the world, so enter London if you're in the UK. Don't worry if you skip this step. When you connect to the internet, this will correct itself. After all, I'm sure you do not want to be in the wrong time zone, and worse, paying dollars on the website that think you are in the USA. The next screen will ask for your name, which we will copy it automatically copies into the second box, and you can change it there if you want to. This is used for networking. Then enter the password twice, so ensure it is the one you are familiar with. Best use at least 12 characters with numbers and capitals, with special characters as at, and, up arrow, down arrow. The password will be used for installing programs as well as starting the Mint. If you have ticked the required password box, which is the default radio button, it will always ask you for a password when you're starting Mint. If you if you do not want to bother entering passwords frequently, click the top radio button, then click on install now. Now you will see a series of sliding screens explaining what is being installed. Watch this, as it is very useful. It shows the standard programs that are being installed. When finished, you're invited to practice best of finish and reboot. On switching again, you will see the grub screen again. Here is a grub screen with Linux Mint and Windows on. You see the top line is Linux Mint, so it will change, will install Linux Mint within 5 seconds if you don't move the cursor. If you move the cursor, it doesn't do anything until you selected something and you press enter. So if you want Windows, you move down, select Windows Manager and press enter. This will install your Windows. Now, setting up the desktop, the Cinnamon desktop, for the best experience, go to LM on the left of the panel. Click on the left, you will see the favorites. The icons on the left is called the favorite list. Click on the third down, the system settings. The appearance of that changes, and we're going to change it because that is not as intuitive as others. In appearance, click the backgrounds. Select Vera on the left because it has more pictures in. Then on the settings on the top, click play backgrounds and enter 2 for a delay of 2 minutes. So you will be changing your desktop screen every 2 minutes. Click on the back button in the top left, and on the themes change the icons to Mint X. That's the third one down, Mint X. The others are quite satisfactory. So Mint X is more intuitive than that. So the icon tells you more about what's actually happening. Click on the back button, top left. Then in the preference, select Screen Save. Set the delay before starting screensaver to never. Click on the back button, top left. Move down to Hardware and select Power Manager. Now select AC Power to never. Now this should be OK, so click on the top right blue button to finish with settings. If you have any printers connected in its Mint, they will automatically install when you open Mint, providing they're switched on. You don't need any installation disk, and it's its first operating system I've ever seen do this, because it's quite marvellous. Because setting up printers can be really difficult on everything, and losing a installation disk is rather annoying. You will find Gimp is not installed in the menu. It used to be on up to 19.1, but they took it off, and I've never found the reason why. I haven't asked. So we can simply install it with a terminal command. This you will find by default on the bottom panel with black terminal. Now the terminal is useful for installing programs, but it doesn't always have a program in the terminal. So but it does have Gimp and quite a lot. So you click on the terminal and to run it. Terminal commands are very powerful and install far quicker any installation app. To install Gimp with the terminal, enter sudo apt install Gimp, then click enter. It asks for the password, so you enter your password. You will set it shows the space that it's going to occupy and asks you to approve it, so you click on yes or Y. It then installs the program, then you can type it. Now when it's finished installation, it returns to the $sign, so you can type Gimp in there and it will appear on screen. But don't bother doing that, because you best go into the LM start button on the left of the panel, click on the icon. In the search box at the top you enter Gimp, but you will also find it in the graphics, so you can go there. You will click, you right click and click add to panel or add to desktop. Now repeat this to install Genie. To install Genie with terminal command, you use sudo apt install Genie and click enter. You will not be asked for a password this time because you just used one, so it takes about 15 minutes before it decides it needs a password again. Again repeat when it's found the app. It shows the space. It will take any option to install. Click yes. Again it then installs, and go up to the start button, the LM start button and the left panel, and add it to the panel. Genie is a coding text editor, so you can now make activate back to activate Windows with this program. Now click on the blue and grey Genie cooking pot icon. There's a little picture of it. If you want to make a file called activate back to activate Windows, now in the open window it says it has no coding at all, and it says untitled. So if you don't want to do this, otherwise jump to chapter 12. So when a code is loaded to a file and save and activate that, this will save the file in documents. Copy it to a DVD if you have one. Otherwise, copy to a USB. But if you use a USB in Windows, you must switch Defender off first. Otherwise, Windows considers it a threat and deletes it. Of course, it can't delete it on the DVD, so Windows is upset. Now here is the code. You can copy the code there. So it's along with the code. That's the first bit. There's the second bit down to there, and this the final bit there. And there. If you copy all the code and make activate this way, it will give you a practice in coding. You may feel it easier to download it from our WhatsApp or obtain the Yummy USB from squarespace.com. You can also obtain it as a DVD, which stops mistakes and Defender cannot delete it from the DVD. To make a USB with install K3B. If your machine has a DVD read writer, you will need a read writing program for the DVDs. So this is a very powerful one, K3B. To install K3B, use the terminal command sudo apt install K3B and click enter. Do the usual, enter the password, click yes, and it installs. Then of course go to the LM start screen and add it to your panel. Now if you want to use the activate .bat file, you have to switch off the Defender antivirus, because otherwise it will try to delete it. So this is it. You select Start and type Windows Security to search for that app. Select Windows Security app from the search results. Go to Virus and Threat Protection, and under Virus and Threat Protection settings, select Manage Settings. You will see a blue button, real time, which is on. You move it to off and it's no longer blue. See here is a picture of that. So here is the button which you switch off. It's blue here because it's active. When Defender switch off, run activate that as an administrator to activate. Here is the screen you will get, provided you are connected to the internet. So eventually, after a little while, it says product activated successfully. Now the next chapter customizes the Cinnamon desktop. You will need to be connected to the internet, so click on the Wi-Fi icon on the right panel. You see this picture shows where it is, a little Wi-Fi picture. Select your Wi-Fi and enter password if required. So if you are connected to the Ethernet, this is you don't need to do this because it will be automatically there, and it will be showing 3 little squares, which means that you're connected to the Ethernet to the Ethernet cable. So choosing a program or app, you open the software manager. This is a software manager, so you find it on the start string, go down the applications, and then it's best when you have it, install it to your desktop. So there is another very important program which I am now using, and it's recording this video. So it's called Simple Screen Recorder. So using the terminal, enter sudo apt install simple screen recorder. As I said, it's a great program for recording a screen with audio texture. So you'll need a microphone. My laptop usually has one. A desktop, sometimes you have to add one. Click on graphic, then VLC. This will install a popular music program that is in the software manager. Click on VLC. That's one of the windows that you will see appear. So use the search in the software manager to install other programs. Now, the programs we'll be using are Scribus, KDN Live, LibreCAD, a Linux version of AutoCAD. So look for the software manager and choose other programs you might like to install. A good program to install is the rival to Office 29 Professional. So on the internet, Google WPS Office and download it. GNU Cache is a quick alternative which is free. So download it from gnucache.org. It may be in the software manager, which is this page. You look in various like programmers or script for it. I've not actually noticed it myself, but anyway, GNU Cache is a quick alternative which is free. And you don't have to pay £60 a quarter for having it. And you, if you do have it and you don't want to pay any money, you can copy all the files over to GNU Cache because it uses the same commands, and GNU Cache files it. GNU Cache can actually connect to your bank and automatically can be updated, so you don't have to keep doing your bank. So you have to ask your bank how you do this. I've not done it because I think that might be intrusive. So when installing search box, enter VLC, and since you have Gimp and Genie already, so add them to the panel. In the LM start, add from the graphics, LibreCAD, Scribus, Gimp, and other graphic ones if you want to. The internet, click on Thunderbirds because that you use that a lot, so you want that on the bottom panel. In the Office, you can add it to the panel. The WPS 2019, it already puts itself onto the desktop in any event. So you can add LibreOffice and GNU Cache from the Office. Now from the administration, add the software manager, the printers, backup to from sound and video, add K3B, VLC, KDN Live, and Simple Recorder. From accessories, USB image writer, which is a very popular one, because when you download an ISO, you just use USB image writer and it writes a bootable stick. Add calculator, and files. You can also put files on the desktop because you often wanting to look at your files. Now, if you're making your own websites, you will need FileZilla, which works alongside Genie. The two connect together. We'll look at each to see the best you want to work for. First, you will cover the Office programs, which are word processing programs. Basically, that people don't seem to call them word processors programs anymore. You've got the LibreOffice, which has over 27 different word processors. It normally files in the latest Office document format, .odt. Microsoft Office uses .ott only by request. Otherwise, it does .word. LibreOffice is a free and powerful office suite and a successor to OpenOffice, commonly known as OpenOffice. It's a clean interface and feature-rich tools help you unleash your creativity and enhance productivity. It's always giving you tips when you open it, so you have to just click off the tips. WPS Office is industry-leading office software provider, bringing convenience and professional support for people in business, education and home scenarios. Our Office suite, they say, is also fully compatible with common products such as Microsoft Office and Google Docs. I'm not familiar with Google Docs, so I presume the four components of WPS Office are Writer, Spreadsheet, Presentation and PDF, which can meet your daily work and study requirements. The 2019 Office 2019 also has Skype, but I think that's been superseded by WhatsApp now. You can add that to your desktop as well. The same way as the Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint. That's what WPS Office provides. It calls itself on the desktop WPS 2019. That's the only time you actually see the 2019. Now you've got the quick and alternative GNU Cache. That's a free alternative that uses many commands used in Quicken to import or export to Quicken. Now I use GNU Cache. It's very good. Within a matter of minutes you'll be able to enter your personal finance information and generate colour graphics that represent your financial status. If you can use the register in the back of your checkbook, you can use GNU Cache. Type directly into the register, tap between fields and use quick fill to automatically complete transactions. The interface is customizable from within the application itself. It's easy to use menus, conforms to known human interface guidelines. It is simple in appearance, has a built-in help and extensive use of guide documentation. Import methods. GNU Cache supports many ways to input transactions besides manual entry. If you can access your bank accounts online, this is especially useful as most banks and credit card companies support one of the following import methods. You will spend less time entering data and more time analysing results. Quicken import files. Import Quicken QIF style files, a popular file format in many commercial personal finance software packages. Open File Exchange. GNU Cache has been the first free software application to support the Open Financial Exchange Protocol. Many financial institutions are moving towards this format. Home banking interface. GNU Cache has been the first free application to support the German home banking computer interface protocol. This protocol includes statements download, initiates bank transfers and makes direct debits possible. Reports. GNU Cache comes with over 30 pre-built reports, including account summary, income, expenses, transaction report, balance sheet, profit loss, portfolio valuation and many other. Reports support graphical views of the data including pie charts, bar charts and scatter plots. The report can be exported to HTML files and is easily customized. Scheduled transactions. GNU Cache now has the ability to automatically create and enter transactions or remind you when these transactions are due, giving you the choice of entering, postponing or removing the automatic transaction. Mortgage and loan repayment assistant used to set up a variable payment loan schedule transaction. Easier account reconciliation, integrated reconciliation makes reconciling your GNU Cache accounts with statements simple and effective. Multiple platform compatibility. GNU Cache is supporting a variety of platforms and operating systems. You can export the files and connect it onto another machine as well. You can probably email it, but I wouldn't do that. Now, HomeBank is another quick and alternative. It's a personal finance option that is both easy to use and full of charting and reporting options. Most Linux users can find a packaged version in their usual repositories, and as a Windows user can install via direct download. There are others unsupported ports available as well. Home banking has similar features to that you might expect from other tools. Import from Quicken, Microsoft Money or other common formats. Duplicate transactions, detection multiple account types, split transactions, budgeting tools and more. HomeBank also supports translation in 57 languages, so it's probably a language that you don't speak. So, LibreCAD is Linux version of AutoCAD. It's a computer automated design program. LibreCAD has an interface that will look familiar to AutoCAD users, and by default it uses the AutoCAD DXF format for importing and saving, but it can use other formats as well. LibreCAD is a 2D only though, so it makes more sense if you intend to use it as site plan or something similar, flat plans. Go ahead and start your LibreCAD and take a look at what you see on the screen. Notice across the top there are words that you click on for the pull down menus. Go ahead and click on each word to see the menus. Don't select anything from menus as of yet. We will examine some of the selections when you work through the menu. So you have to have the menu. So download the menu and go to it if you are interested. This is the icon on the left draws cross hatches, so you can click on these. Notice at the bottom of the screen you will see the command line. You can actually draw in LibreCAD using commands that you type in this area. We will use this in the tuition if we want to. Sometimes LibreCAD waits for special input, so I'm not familiar with that, so this is a very powerful one. Now, another program we install is Scribus. I'm not familiar with this. It's a page layout program since the humble beginnings of 2001. Scribus has evolved from one of the premier open source desktop applications encouraged by professionals and beginners alike. The Scribus team support from a large and growing number of enthusiastic contributors from all over the world. It's dedicated to develop and improve one of the most powerful cloud systems. It supports features CMYK, colors, spot colors, ICA color management and versatile PDF creation. It has powerful vector drawing tools, support for a huge number of file types, import-export filters, emulation of color blindness, or the rendering of markup languages like LaTeX or LilyPond inside Scribus. Scribus file format is XML based and open. Unlike proprietary binary file formats, even damaged documents can be recovered with simple editor. You can try only Office, ensures they never miss out on essential documents. So I'm not familiar with this one, so you may want to try that one. It says spreadsheets, presentations, documentation, form creation, edit. It comes with plugin libraries that transform rich document editing. They have a paid for version if you want. Now, next up is KDN Live. Now, KDN Live, run it, you'll see a big black screen. It's a video editing program. Now, I use this to make these programs I'm getting from a simple screen recorder. It produces files, short 2 or 3 minutes, and KDN Live allows you to attach them all together to make one continuous program, and this is what you then send up to YouTube, which I'll be sending this up to YouTube. So you will see this in YouTube under John Dolker. Okay, so I won't go into its description very much, but here is the start screen, and once you've selected that, you can start, and you first do a save and name your system, because you can do 4 or 5 as many as you want, different recordings. So when you open KDN Live, you create a new project, which is file and new. Choose a name, and select a project profile. The video files provided, you can change the frame rate, and that if you're using your own file and you don't know which one, KDN Live will suggest an appropriate one when the first clip is added, so you can leave the fill on whatever it is. Now, K3B DVD Creator install for your DVDs. If you do not have a DVD read-write drive, then ignore this. It shows you in the book about all the things it can do. It can make data CD, DVDs, drag and drop support filing files, on-fly burning, Rockridge and Juliet support for nearly all Mac ifs options, audio CDs, CD text, which is an odd one. I've come across that. Video CD and DVDs, mixed mode CDs, eMuvix support, CD copy, TV burning, read and rewrite. So rewrite tests are very useful because it allows you to clear a written read-write and rewrite to it. This is called blanking and CI rewrites. And much more. As you can see, K3B is a powerhouse of CD, DVD burning software, rivaling nearly all software on any platform. Most would assume with this level of power, a certain level of complexity will go hand in hand. But it's not true. Not only is KV the most powerful burning tool in Linux land, it's also one of the easiest to use. KB3B will burn CDs, DVDs, and ISOs, and there's a help function to do that. You can also Google because it's you ask any question on Google and it will answer you about K3B. FreeCAD is another Linux version of AutoCAD. You may like to use this one. This one will do 3D as well. So you do a variety of 3D objects where LibreCAD is only 2D. So try that if you're interested. Now comes the backup. So if you go to the LM Start and search for backup, and you can add it to your desktop. This backup actually backs up your files and restores them. You can find backup in, as I said, in the manager. This is a picture what you first appears. You can back up your personal data. You can back up now or restore, and clicking on backup now gives you what you want to back up. There's software selection. You can back up your software. A list of applications installed on your computers backed up. So you can back them up and restore them with this one. So you choose from personal data software, you select personal data and back up now. So you can back up here, for example. I'll just back up my music. The drop down menu allows you to select many other things. Now, this is an important one. Time shift. Time shift makes a snapshot files and saves your whole system, and you can then go back in time. You can set it to take these at preset times. You can have several time shift snapshot files, so you can choose where to go back in time when you restore. You should now make your first time shift to save your whole system. So go to your start button, search for time shift, add it to the panel, and click on time shift on your panel, enter your password, and you will get to your time shift window. So if you want to start after setting up the time shift main page and the times you want it to set, you could click on settings to find this again, but Setup Wizard automatically does it for you. So first of all, you click create. That will install your first time shift. A snapshot is here of my first one from Vanessa. For some reason it says Vanessa when it's actually not when it's not Vanessa we're using. Perhaps, I see it says 21. It maybe 21 is Vanessa and 21.1 is Vera. But anyway, it copies all your files there. Maybe this time sheet, maybe updating will fix this. So you create it to do your first time shift, and click on restore to restore it. So I've done my first snapshot there. I've now got several snapshots of those that was done earlier, and you see it says time shift is active because I started it. You can also use USB formatted devices where you want the time shift to be. So and you can make a USB by running this. This selects a USB on the left, and you click on enter, then click on the gears icon. In the next menu, choose format, and you click on format partition, and then it then allows you to format on the Linux one. And the next page, choose the name for the USB, then tick the radio button to format with the Linux system, then click next. You can use this USB to save your system files. This might be good just in case your hard drive comes down and you lose everything. So maybe occasionally you can do a time shift on USB. Maybe sort of regular one, because if you've got a laptop, this is sort of inconvenient, or if you leave your laptop on and it's not moving, then that's no problem. Now, this, when you click on the gears, it gives format volume. You enter a name for it. You click on it. Internal disk for use with Linux for an external form. You can password protect it if you want to, but I don't think we can do this for the time shift. I don't think it would accept that. Restoring time shift can be done from the time shift page, so you get the time page up again, search for the time shift, then select the time shift snapshot you want to restore, then click on next, because you might have several snapshots. Of course you take the last one, but if an error is in that one, you have to click on the next snapshot. Choose where you want to restore on the partition. It will restore automatically in your last hard drive when you made the snapshots that it's been taking, but you can make it snapshot to other devices. So in settings, or the wizard, when you restore, you get the restore snapshot, and here, so this is what I've said before. It restores here, and after restoration, you should create again in case you have a problem before your next auto timeshift snapshot is taken. Now, VirtualBox. Now, VirtualBox is what I'm actually using now. I will be using later. VirtualBox allows you to install any operating system, but in a virtual box. That means it's running off-piste, you might say. So I will be describing VirtualBox later. So when you want to run VirtualBox, you click new when you've added VirtualBox, and you will enter a name for the one you're installing. Perhaps you get Windows or Mint. click on that, and it says create a virtual machine. Accept what it already has because you named it, and click on next. It says memory size. Well, most people have 4 gigabytes, or you might have 8 gigabytes, but lots 1 gigabyte to your 1024 megabytes to your memory, which will use that memory to that. Now the hard disk, the recommended size of the hard disk is 10 gigabytes. So, but with Linux Mint, it needs 16 gigabytes. So in the next screen, when you press create, and the pop-up is acceptable, that's you click on next on the next one. Now the storage of the physical disk, you click on fixed size only because it's quicker, or you can click dynamically allocated, and you don't have to worry about the size of the operating system. But when you choose the fixed size, and then you change on the next screen the size to 20 gigabytes as a slider. Use the F1 key for more help at any time. You will get a screen, a startup screen of Linux Mint when you press start, and there's a choice on the startup screen of Cinnamon, start Linux Mint Cinnamon, or start with compatibility modes, or install for manufacturers. So you click on the first line, start Linux, and it'll start the installation of your virtual machine. You can stop at any time by clicking on the top right blue cross in the corner. The close virtual machine pop-up appears. The radio button save the machine state is selected. Okay, the start screen appears where you start the machine by clicking start. Now the next is a simple screen recorder. So I made this by using a simple screen recorder, and going through the book, and I set an area, select a rectangle, so you could click on the select a rectangle. I put it around the book pages, and then the next screen is a setup screen, and you select the rectangle. You install Linux Mint using VirtualBox and use the hotkey Control R to start recording, and pause when waiting for an installation screen, changing the pop-ups. This is the simple recording card. You can click on start recording and it will start the recording, or you use a hotkey which is Control plus R. You can change that for other things, but I don't see much point in doing. Maybe some people have broken R keyboards with the key missing. So you can save the recording at any time. Now, when it does record this, it records in bursts of about 3 or 4 minutes, and you have to connect them all together. So the recording is saved in videos. You can play them with celluloid, which is on your machine. See, there's you could also install on your Yummy Stick Fedora Cinnamon desktop. This installation is a great operating system. It's the Rolls-Royce of operating systems. If you want to have 80,000 free programs and an excellent Cinnamon desktop which you can customize to suit yourself, Fedora allows you to host a website or mail server or a DNS server with many other servers. You can add this to your Yummy Stick if you want to use this system.